So do a quick test with your AI, ask it to build you a landing page, and one of three things are going to come back. You're going to get the same kind of colors, the same sheriff script, and a very similar design to millions of people that are using the same AI tools. So what I've created for you to be able to download is a templated design pack that enables you to be completely unique and also completely brand consistent with whether it's your business or it's your client's business, and then completely avoiding this kind of generic design that everyone's getting. So the reason people are getting the generic design is because everybody's using the front-end skill design with Claude, and I think with ChatGPT there's a very similar one. Whereas previously, web designers on the whole would create their own as they move. So this is the design director, and it's really super simple to use. All you need to do is put the files I'm going to give you into Claude, answer the 4 questions, and then one direction, and then you're going to get the token sheet, and then you can essentially use it in Claude Design. You can use it in any Claude chat. You can build it, anything out, any landing page, any lead magnet, even emails with this. And the tools that I'm going to be giving you that are included in this are these ones here. So you got editorial print. So it's essentially going to give you this very professional, very clean typography and stylistic design. The Neo Brutalist, which gives you something a little bit more unique, a little bit more design heavy, edgy. You've got the Swiss International, which just looks very, very clean, very focused on grids and parametric design, things like that. The Terminal Industrial, which I really like because it feels like a code. So this is more for if your clients or your audience are more coders. So if you're doing AI, for example, this is perfect. You essentially want to give this because that's the interface that developers are used to anyway. Soft Tactile is really good with clothing brands, with cosmetics, things like that. Sort of toiletries, really good. So it gives you that very unique, natural feel. And you've got the really good palette here, which is really complementary to that. And then you've got Deco Noir, which is the more premium feel. You've got these gold and sort of contrasting design, color palette here. So it's really super simple. It's all you need to do is, essentially get these different files I'm going to give you and put them in, answer the questions, and build your own token set. And then as you go on, you're going to have the consistency of, the design system that you've built. You can do this within Claude Design, and essentially you'll get a very generic output unless you're steering it. So this is going to save you 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes of steering, plus all the subsequent questions you need to answer in order to steer it in the direction that you want. All these tweaks and everything, you need to sort of go back and forth, lots of different design revisions. And then you still need to actually then render that down into a, usable file that you'll then take and carry over to all of your Claude projects or wherever you're going to use this. So I've done the work for you. You're going to be able to get this unique design, and you can also then come into the file and you've got the README and the skill.imd. So the skill.imd, you can actually just put straight into the Claude project or Claude thread that you're working in. It depends on how you set this up, but with a Claude project, you want to keep it in the project files. So for example, if that Claude project's on a specific, build for the website or client build or something like that, keep it in there. If you keep it just within the skills in your back end of Claude, if you know how to do that, then that's also the best way to do it. But then you'll need to call upon it whenever you actually need the skill. So it's really up to you. It depends on completely on how you work. But the README explains everything. So you can actually put that alongside this in the Claude thread, and then it will just explain how to use it in 3 or 4 sentences, essentially. So that's everything. That's my gift to you. Feel free to ask any questions about this. I'm all about design. A lot of people say like Claude's killed designers, and whether that's partly true or not, it's killed generic designers, but then it's essentially enabled us all to become generic designers. So this is going to give you something that actually lets you stand out, and it's going to be something that builds that brand consistency, because you don't want to be able to move too far from the very narrow set of guidelines that you have for your client brand or your own brand. You want to be able to keep that consistency and congruency without, through this whole thing. And honestly, brands that I've worked with and agencies I've worked with, they pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to get something like this. And now we can just create it with AI. So it's absolutely crazy. And even then, I'm saving you even more time having to do it yourself. So yeah, anyway, this is it. This is my gift to you guys. Let me know if you've got any questions, and I'll drop the MD and all of that zip into the community so you guys can just download that. But yeah, leave a comment or just let me know if you've got any follow-up questions about this, and yeah, enjoy.